All right, let's continue on with the series. I've already done the 4 most realistic fits for the trading deadline, or logical fits or likely fits for Trevor Story. Then we went to Max Scherzer. Today I'm going to move to the bullpen and talk about Josh Hader, the 4 most likely or realistic fits for him. And again, based on team need and the market, what the market bears, what they can afford, team performance, and so on. So a lot of ingredients. But Josh Hader has been one of the most desirable pieces and talked about in trades for the last several years. And he still has 2.5 years of team control, which is ridiculous. So if somebody gets him and they're a postseason team, you'll have him for 3 postseason runs. So that's really, really good. So just something to keep in mind. But let's go over my first 4 teams. Number 1 to me is obvious, the Philadelphia Phillies. And this would be a Dave Dombrowski type move because he's now running the Phillies. So to me, this is a ballsy move. He would go out and he would give up, a good amount of prospects to get a Josh Hader. But to me, he's an equalizer piece in that bullpen. He would a shutdown guy. He would change that bullpen, and make it a hell of a lot better. They made some marginal improvements in the bullpen, and then, I still think a starting pitcher might be good, but they're strong up the top in terms of the starting rotation. Down below and kind of mid-relief and late relief, they can use another guy, and this guy's probably the best out there. And again, the Brewers can afford to move him now, not only because of Devin Williams, but because of Drew Rasmussen, who's kind of a younger version of Josh Hader, and another shutdown reliever who's got more years of team control because Hader's starting to become expensive, and Phillies is one of the teams that can absorb his salary for the next 3 seasons. That's another thing to keep in mind. Brewers are a small market team. They don't pay huge salaries aside from, Christian Yelich and like Lorenzo Cain, but if they would have paid him already, but he's going to get expensive. He's going to probably be $20 million in 2023. So it's something to keep in mind. And again, he represents a huge need for the Phillies. If they want to stay competitive and win the East, you need a Josh Hader, period. Next up is, to me, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They can always use another piece in the bullpen, especially with Kenley Jansen kind of regressing and at some point no longer being their closer. Josh Hader can step in and be their closer. And I know they got ridiculous depth even after losing Dustin May to Tommy John surgery, but middle relief, this allows them the flexibility to move some of those late inning guys who probably shouldn't be there to the middle innings, to middle relief, and give them a lockdown guy at the back end of the game. And to me, adding to something that's already a strength is just going to make the team better. And this is the type of move that I can see them making, whether it be him or like a starting pitcher, just to add on the back end of their rotation. Mainly also because Trevor Bauer might not be back next year, Clayton Kershaw might not be back next year. So there are some question marks. So bringing in a guy like Hader kind of helps answer some questions. And again, defending world champions, I don't see them not making a move or two at the deadline or even before it. And this guy, he would look pretty cool in Dodger Blue too, and he would just form a lockdown bullpen on their end and help them in their quest to repeat. So, number 3, Tampa Bay Rays. They've already made an acquisition of 2 relievers and give up some decent capital, but formulating that shutdown bullpen, adding Hader to what they've already brought in would make it just the most ridiculous bullpen in probably Rays history. And in the American League East, it's been a strength of theirs for a while, a shutdown bullpen, especially since they've lost, Blake Snell and Chris Archer. So, actually, they brought Archer back, but Snell and Charlie Morton, bringing in a guy like Hader who can throw multiple innings as well and kind of help give the bullpen flexibility, particularly when starters may not go as long, even though they've got Glasnow and some other guys. Glasnow hasn't had a magical year either, so this gives them a lot of strength, a lot of depth on the bullpen and the long relief end. So it's a type of move. And again, he will be relatively expensive over the next couple of years, but they also have the number 1 farm team in baseball, so they can afford to maybe give him extra prospect capital or something, or maybe give him an extra year, even though he's going to get paid regardless. But this is a type of move that the Rays would make instead of bringing in a $100 million player. This is the guy that can make a huge impact on the Rays. And again, shut down all the other teams in American League East, which is kind of what they've been doing, especially what they did last year. So the Rays, to me, are number 3. And last but not least, number 4 is the Toronto Blue Jays. They also need a shutdown reliever, and he would represent a ridiculous upgrade in that bullpen. And again, they don't have a ton of pitching depth at the top, so I think they need a starting pitcher as well on the top end to help minimize the load on the bullpen. But bringing in a Josh Hader, a nasty, filthy dominator from the left-handed side, would take that bullpen up to the next level. And again, just like the Rays, keep them high up competitive on the American League East, even help propel them over teams like the Red Sox, the Yankees, and stuff, or keep their team up atop, but also help them shut down guys. He's familiar with the National League, so help him shut some of those top teams out in the National League. So it gives the American League teams another weapon and with familiarity to the teams that they would be facing in the World Series. So the logic is there for the Blue Jays and the Rays. So as well as the Dodgers and the Phillies. He would represent them an upgrade in any one of their bullpens, and he does represent, in my opinion, a need for all of their bullpens. So let me know what you think. If you have any other teams in mind. I would love him on the Yankees, but they have like 6 million relievers already, so I just don't see it happening. I thought it should have happened several years ago, but it is what it is. So if it happens, it happens, but the Yankees have bigger needs. And so, again, give me your feedback in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, if you like good content like this. Okay, I'm going to keep on with this series. The next player we're going to talk about is Richard Rodriguez, another dominant reliever from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Underrated, but somebody who can make a significant impact. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching. Talk to you then.